All right, welcome back to the first episode of Tech of the Week. And today we got some crazy topics that we're going to cover. We're going to cover Apple's $700 budget, laptop, the Samsung XR, and a couple other things. So stay tuned for the last ones. It'll be awesome. Let's get right into it. Today we're going to be covering Apple's budget laptop, the Samsung XR, some Meta Glasses updates. Also, one by Google that's going to surprise you, which is actually going to be super helpful for both Android users and Apple users, so stay tuned for that. And so, first off, let's just get right into it with Apple's $700 rumored MacBook. So, for the last, week or two, it's been rumored that Apple wants to drop a budget laptop to kind of compete with the Surface laptops and the cheaper budget laptops, especially for like students. So with Apple doing this, they want to, or it's rumored for it to be around $700, which would be $300 less than the MacBook Air, which is $999, which right now is an M4 MacBook Air. But this one is rumored to have an A16 Bionic chip, so pulling a little bit from the iPhone. Now, nothing's really confirmed here. So we just have to wait and see what they're actually going to put in it, but it should be pretty cool. And it's going to help these Apple users a lot to enter into the laptop genre, I guess you could say. So $700, we don't know too much about it, but that it's going to be budget, and this could help a lot of people. So let's talk about the Samsung XR, and if you haven't seen my video on it with the full thoughts and review, check that out, link in the description. So with the XR, just a brief overview, it's kind of like an Apple competitor. They are going with the AR virtual reality market, and they are kind of directly competing with Apple because Apple makes this product. There's really no one in this market, and now Samsung drops this XR. So it's around $1,700. And it's very similar to Apple, where the cameras, the sensors, the way it works. But $1,700, it's not as heavy. It's made of plastic instead of metal, which is a nice touch. And with this being dropped, it could help cheapen Apple's. We know they just did a refresh with an M5, but they didn't really refresh anything. They just threw in a new chip, and that's basically it, and gave it a new headband. So let's see if Apple will drop their price now that they have an actual competitor instead of paying $3,500 for it. The XR has actually got a couple features in it too, like YouTube and other stuff that you can watch, where the Apple Vision Pro is kind of slow to integrate this stuff, but it's also like really high quality because it's Apple. But make sure you check out my video. And number 3 is interesting. So Meta has been going with these tech companies to try and really push these Meta glasses. So almost the exact opposite with these virtual reality headsets, where you're literally putting on a headset and you go into like a new world, I guess. With these glasses, it's having the world around you. You can see the world around you, and adding a screen or adding the AI or adding these things to it, to where it's a little bit easier to see. So we got like the Meta Ray-Bans, we got the regular glasses, it's got the cameras, it's got the speakers on it, but they also recently dropped the glasses that has like a screen that you can look through while wearing glasses, which is pretty cool. So kind of like how the Vision Pro works, where it's like a see-through. This is kind of like that, but doesn't have to show a see-through or passage because it's glass, and so it projects a screen on the glasses, which is pretty cool. So you can see what's going on around you, but you can also see whatever it is, like maps or text messages and stuff like this, to help you kind of navigate without having to look at your phone. They are kind of bulky, but I think it's a step forward. It's gonna be kind of interesting to see what it looks like in like a couple years. I mean, I see these videos on social media of these Meta Band like glasses and these videos, which are pretty funny, but we'll see what it's like with these glasses on the front of the camera, because they can be used for good and for bad. So make sure you use them for good. This last one is interesting because this is like really recent. Google just announced with their Pixel 10, so their brand new phones, that they'll be having AirDrop for Android. But here's the catch. So you can have a Pixel 10, you can have a picture or a file on there that you want to AirDrop to, and you can send that to an iPhone or another Android device. But that's the cool thing. So that's the thing. And Google kind of went around the system, and they didn't necessarily involve Apple with this, but they made it so that starting with the Pixel 10, and they want to go and hit other phones with it, but they're just starting with the Pixel 10s for now, where you can now AirDrop things back and forth with an iPhone. With an iPhone, you do have to have like the shared with everyone 10-minute toggle on, but it's like that for other iPhones or people around you anyways. So all you have to do, turn that on, and the person with the Pixel will be able to AirDrop something to you, whether it be a picture, which is super nice because now, you know, you go on a trip or something and your friends or family want to share photos. The text message can kind of make them a little bit more blurry, not as high quality. So with this, it'll be super nice that it can just transfer it through, just like a regular AirDrop works. And as we know, AirDrop is super nice and something that Apple's worked on and had a couple updates on it. And so hopefully this works pretty well. We'll have to test it and see what it's like. But this is Tech of the Week. And if there's any big tech things that I missed, please comment down below so that we can cover it for next week, and subscribe for another episode. I thought it was pretty fun. So subscribe, like, and comment some tech that you might want to see for next week. Catch you next one. See ya.